And to unpack the political developments that are currently unfolding in Zimbabwe, let's welcome on the line Professor Martin Rupiya, who is UNISA's African Renaissance Studies Professor. He's also a retired Zimbabwean Army Lieutenant Colonel. A very good afternoon to you, Professor. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, the Zimbabwean crisis is deepening, with Mugabe, of course, refusing to adhere to the deadline to step down today. Should we have expected this?
Well, all the international stations, Sky, Al Jazeera, CNN, and sources from the ground last night appeared to expect the statement of resignation. The lead up to that was, of course, events within the ruling party, ZANU-PF itself, in which the president had been called, and suddenly a new interim leader had been selected, Mnangagwa. But it did not happen. So it has created a sense of, managed or mismanaged chaos. One is not sure where the power lies. But I think this continues to be, reflective of very serious power struggle that is taking place within the ruling party, which has now drawn in the institutions of the security establishment.
And Professor, what about this threat to impeach President Robert Mugabe by his own party if, of course, he refuses to step down? As we know now, he has missed the deadline. And, of course, the threatened court action, do you think it's going to bear any weight for him to make that decision to step down?
This is the second route after the failure to get him to agree to step down.
Yeah.
The impeachment process, the evidence suggests, is going to take several months, not just weeks. And certainly the country already, without trading, you've just been running an economics reflection, before we came on air. The country is in a bind and perhaps may not be able to sustain the regression from this crisis for long. But certainly the impeachment process can be done, but it will take several months. What it means is that they will move an impeachment motion. They will have to deliver to the president the reasons why they think he must go. He must be given time also to reflect and then come back, and then Parliament then sits again to reflect. It's really a messy phase of the coup or non-coup process that we have seen in the last few days, Alicia.
But then, Professor, a lot of people are saying, isn't this the exact time where the AU should be doing something? Because we do know that SADC is trying some things, but as we've heard from our reporters, they can only make recommendations. Who is then supposed to enforce those recommendations?
At the end of the day, it must be the Zimbabweans themselves. And certainly for now, it looks like the armed forces were quite careful to try and observe both the party and the national constitution. However, the environment is deteriorating such that what they wanted to do in the first instance is not working. So certainly SADC and the African Union, the United Nations, can only work with the Zimbabweans themselves on the ground. However, the point we must note is that in many countries, there are signals of a crisis taking place. And both the African Union and sub-regions take time to step up and assist.
Absolutely, Prof.
Yesterday I was on another radio station or TV, and we were talking about Togo. Togo are in the same phase as the Zimbabweans. So here we now have a situation that is deteriorating much faster than we had expected.
Professor, a very quick one before I let you go. With all of this happening, I've just read a business side of how this turmoil is actually affecting business and the economy in Zimbabwe. I mean, let's talk about that. How does the current situation then affect the country's economy? We know about the sanctions that have been there for many, many years.
The first thing is the uncertainty that it brings, Alicia. No one can trade. No one is confident. And in fact, some of the people have been stopped from going to work. So there's physically lack of production and also normal business trading. And certainly the economy is already in severe stress. And this does not help the crisis that the country is going through. So we have all these signs, we have all these factors And for now, no one is interested in the economics. Everybody is interested in the politics, Alicia.
Professor, thank you so much always for that sound analysis. That is Professor Martin Rupiya, who is UNISA's African Renaissance Studies Professor, as well as a retired Zimbabwean Army Lieutenant Colonel.